Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here. Little Joan's being so bad with a hot take, and I am not putting Joan down this time because she can't behave herself today. You know, right, doggy? Doggy's very sad, as am I, because of all the rioting. Um, Look, if you are a peaceful protester, I support you, but you have to stand down now. I just got through telling people in Vineland, New Jersey to stand down. I'm urging you to do the same. Here's why. George Floyd, there's a lot of information that's coming out. Okay? Let's go over that just briefly. A new picture has emerged. First off, let me state for the record again, George Floyd did not deserve to die. That cop was in the wrong. I'm glad he's under arrest. I'm glad he will probably go to prison. He committed a murder. Now, that all being said, understand the context because context is key. What came out next was George didn't forge a check. What he did was he tried to spend a $20 bill, which the deli apparently determined might have been fake. So when I heard that, I said, oh, that kind of changes the story a bit. Because I, too, once got flagged for a $20 bill in a store, right? Girl wouldn't take it. She used a little marker. I had just come from the bank. I gave her a different bill. She took that one. I paid for my stuff. I took the bill back to the bank. The bank looked at it, gave me a different bill, said, that bill's fine, by the way. I said, why would this girl flag my bill? And the bank said, well, you know, those markers don't always work. So that could be the case here. Who knows? We don't have that kind of detail yet. But here's some more information. Now, this next bit of information, it's suspect. It comes out of a website called Medium. And the author claims to be a person who knows people who knew George Floyd. And back in, I believe he said 2007, he claims that George Floyd, along with four other guys, robbed a woman at gunpoint. And Floyd was the gunman. He held her at gunpoint while the other guys who had entered her home under the pretense of being the water heater guy or the water inspector or whatever, ransacked the place. Now, that really changes the narrative, but it doesn't change that George Floyd was murdered by a cop, because it doesn't matter George Floyd's record or what he did or what he didn't do. When you have a prisoner at your mercy, he deserves to be treated with humanity, and he certainly shouldn't be injured or killed. So that doesn't change that equation of it. However, what this could change is his defense. And the additional fact that George Floyd knew the cop for 7 years, worked beside him, I can already see the defense lining up if this story is true. If this story is true, then this cop didn't see George Floyd as just a rando who accidentally tried to pay with a 20 that turned out to be fake. What he saw was a criminal thug that had probably bragged to him about his previous crimes, or he knew about them or suspected. And when he caught him, he's like, this guy's dangerous. I cannot let him get to his feet. So that still doesn't excuse what he did. Doesn't excuse him at all, but that may mitigate his sentence somewhat. And I'm not saying he should have a mitigated sentence. I think he was a cop. I think he had the guy helpless. I don't think that should matter. But that's the way it's probably going to play to a jury if this story is true. I have only seen one source of it, so I don't know if it's true. Medium is not a great source for information, but no one's screaming that it's untrue. So we'll have to wait and see. But that could shed a different light on George Floyd, that could come out at the trial. It could mean a resurgence of the riots a year from now. Who knows? But getting back to the riots and Antifa and the agitators, they are going to prison. Don't be out there caught up in this. You don't want that. You need to draw a serious line between you and these agitators. And I'm telling you, the National Guard, the Army, and even the cops, they can't distinguish between the two. They can't. Okay? If someone gets killed, someone throws a Molotov cocktail at a cop and severely burns him or something, it's not going to matter that you were just standing there. It's not going to matter that you were peaceful or helped anybody or whatever. All it's going to matter is you were there and you got caught and you were too slow to run or whatever. So, the protest for George Floyd could happen at any time. It could happen 2 or 3 months from now and be more effective, because if you did it where there weren't all these riots, people will listen. People will hear about it. And, hopefully if the media covers it, which I assume that they will now. But you cannot protest if you're in federal prison. You cannot protest if you are struggling with your family to come up with enough money for bail or a lawyer, or trying to struggle through your life with these charges hanging over your head. You cannot police the rioters now. It's gone too far. There are probably more rioters than there are peaceful protesters at this point. Antifa caught these peaceful protesters unaware, and they egged them on, and there's always bad elements in this chaos. So you cannot control this any more than the National Guard or the soldiers or the cops. They're just going to steamroll everybody. They're just going to throw everybody in jail who doesn't stay in by curfew. You're just going to get caught up in this, and your life is going to be completely disrupted, and you're going to be fighting and fighting and fighting just to explain, yeah, I was there to protest George Floyd, but I didn't steal anything. Don't put yourself through that. Stay off the street now. Get out now. Get out of the city if you can. If you're anywhere near one of these major metropolitans that is burned, where there's been rioting, if you have the means, get out of the city. Go stay with somebody else out in the suburbs, out in the country, out wherever, and stay there for a week. Stay there for a good week. And, I'm not telling you how to do your politics, but I am telling you that this is a very serious situation. Everybody's going to be arrested. Everybody. They're not going to mess around this time. It's gone too far. Trump just gave his speech. And let me tell you something, he's coming. And his guys are coming. And he's going to tell them, put the hammer down on these morons, throw them all in jail, prosecute them all. And when he says prosecute to the fullest extent of the law, that's what these guys are going to do. And they're not going to have any sympathy for you. None. Because too many cops have been hurt. I believe one cop has been killed. I think the guy who was killed was some kind of officer. I'm not sure he was an actual policeman. We've seen cops, the cops in New York who were sitting in a patrol car. A couple of lawyers dressed as Antifa threw Molotov cocktails at their car. They are caught. They are going to prison. They're not going to jail. They're going to prison. Their lives are done. Okay? These two were lawyers. They're not going to talk their way out of this. There is no going back. They will drop any amount of resources they need to put these two in prison. They're going to be the poster children for what comes next. And what comes next is a lot of college kids going to prison. You're going to prison. Not jail, prison. Jail is the county lockup where they put drunks and guy who stole a car maybe, crimes that aren't too bad. When you go to prison, you go to maximum security. You go to the place where there are prison gangs, where there is a yard, where there is no mercy. There is no mercy in prison. None. You will be a hardened person by the time you get out of prison. Your life will be ruined by the time you get out of prison. You will be trying to put together the pieces 10, 15 years from now, if you're lucky. If you're lucky. Assuming you don't get killed in prison. You don't get raped in prison. You don't get so messed up that you become a different person in prison. It's not fun. So I urge you, get off the streets now. Stop. You are in huge trouble. There are cameras all over the city. The FBI is coming. The Army is coming. The National Guard is coming. Trump has no problem spending money when he knows there's a win. And this is a win for him. This is him being reelected right now, because he's going to restore law and order in a week. In a week from now, this will be off the front page, and the mainstream media will be trying to spin this to I don't know what. The people who supported this, they are going to be tarnished forever. You think the guys in MAGA hats who have been hounded and attacked and driven into the shadows, that's going to be you. That's going to be the people who supported this. That's going to be the woke idiots who said, "Oh, Antifa, I love them." You are going to be the ones who are going to be marginalized, who people are going to say, "Ooh, we can't hire you. Sorry." You're going to go, "Why not?" It's just not going to work out. And then you're going to look back at those tweets and go, why? Why did I do that? These entertainers, who I'll also get into in the next video, big trouble. So I urge you, please get off the street. Stop now. Don't do any more damage. Don't make it worse. Don't get hurt. Get in. Because this is over now. This is over. Daddy's coming home. And he's going to spank you.